Hi there, welcome to the Fierce Factor podcast. I'm your host, Kaylee Lindholm. And I think it's time for us women to shift the conversation in business and step into our feminine leadership to do the most iconic work the aesthetic industry has ever seen. Each week, I'll be bringing a powerful dose of strategy, sarcasm, solutions, and sass that will rev up your creativity and ignite your brilliance as you link arms with me along our shared path of personal and professional growth in 20 minutes or less. Let's go. Hello, leader. Welcome back to the Fierce Factor podcast. It's Kaylee here. Today, you're tuning in to this episode number 144. We're going to talk about something that's been on my mind a lot lately. And I'm not entirely sure why, but I think it's because I'm hearing myself talk a lot more about our mission lately. For those of you who are new around here, have been living under a rock, or have just ignored the million times I've talked about my mission, I announced last week that we had expanded our mission tenfold this year with the aim of helping 1,000 inspiring and intentional entrepreneurs cross the next $1 million milestone in their business. And I'll be honest, this just isn't an altruistic goal for me. It's literally the guiding principle of how we accomplish our vision, how we hold ourselves accountable to our core values, and how we design the pillars of our ecosystem. And one of our 3 key areas of focus for this year is to build strategic win-win partnerships with people and companies who choose to align with our mission. And because of this, you heard my podcast last week about us hiring a director of strategic growth and business development. And I've been in powerful meetings with decision makers of some of our favorite companies over the past few weeks and months, companies who we really feel complement our core philosophies and are aligned with us on this mission. And to support this work, I've spent hundreds of hours researching and assembling data around what it takes a female to achieve a $1 million milestone in her business. And part of landing impactful partnership contracts is not only knowing our stuff, but being able to communicate it clearly, concisely, and credibly. And lucky for me, it's like reciting the freckles on my backhand. It is second nature for me. It's the deeply valuable work that I get to do every single day. But understanding how women think, how female entrepreneurs operate, and how aesthetic business owners are really a breed of their own, it isn't obvious for everyone. That's because while our industry is drenched in data around consumer consumption trends, female founders in aesthetics are still underrepresented, under-researched, underserved, and underfunded. And because every organization is clawing for a piece of the industry pie, I don't understand why anyone isn't on a mission to better understand the pain points and value biases of female entrepreneurs. So often our clients will tell me that they took the risk of starting their business for the luxury of the following reasons. A, to do what they love without guidelines, restrictions, and red tape. B, to challenge themselves within the agency of something they feel passionate about. And C, to impact more people, make more money, and to do it on their own damn time. And then they grow almost by accident. And maybe this is you. You just put your head down and you did your best. Grind and hustle. You sacrificed weekends, evenings, maybe even relationships to achieve the incredible success you now have. But then you suddenly find yourself in a place where the very freedoms you created for yourself, the autonomy ensued, is the very thing that is preventing you from getting out of the day-to-day in your business and fully stepping into your role as CEO. And truth be told, the struggle to grow your business has you in a tug of war grappling to be a whole woman, achieving balanced success as a wife, a mom, a partner, a friend, a daughter, a sister. And I hear a whole lot of talk on social media about work-life balance and slowing down and wellness first. And this is great. We are all hyper-stimulated as a society, and it's going to take intention to achieve the wholeness that we talk about. But what I've experienced through my work with hundreds of high-achieving women is that work-life balance might not even be a reality or a goal for some. I remember explaining this to a girlfriend once, urging her to think about doctors who are working to cure cancer. Do we really want them working toward retirement? Sometimes an imbalanced proportion of work toward our bigger mission in the world is what's going to make women like us, quote unquote, whole. And that's why so much of the work I believe we need to do as female entrepreneurs isn't learning time management or even the tactics of business building. It's learning how to accept, embrace, and honor this reality effectively. This is leadership. And here's the thing. Our definition of success is going to be very different as female entrepreneurs than any other kind of human being on earth. And while that may put us in a tough spot with the people around us, in my opinion, it's a good thing. What messes with our heads is our perception of what success should look like or what it looks like on social media, and our desire to mimic someone we look up to or the framework for growth, which has been modeled to us by generations ahead of us. And times have changed. Defining success as a female entrepreneur in 2023 is going to look and feel different than it did for our grandparents, our moms, dads, even our bosses, instructors, or mentors just a few years ahead of us. Because over the span of just a few short years, we've endured unprecedented adversities, years full of unwelcome challenges and disruptions, pandemic, political chaos, a fluctuating economy, the list goes on. And you've heard the old adage, what got you here won't get you there. But when we find ourselves in uncharted waters, we tend to revert back to what we know best. In the case of most female entrepreneurs we work with, that mode is called bend until you break. You know what I'm talking about, where you have to book your vacations around your work schedule or miss out on the things that are important to you because the business needs you. What I'm here to talk about today is redefining what success means for us as female entrepreneurs. In fact, it's time to rewrite the rules. You can actually build your business around your life. It doesn't have to be the other way around. We build a business that supports the life we want to live. So many of you guys are eyeballs deep in business operations that you don't even believe that this is true for you. And you might even believe in this. You might believe that you were put here on the planet to uphold this beautiful vision for your business and the people it supports. But if it's at the expense of your sanity, your health, your happiness, that is not okay. No plan can be executed if you're exhausted and over it. So how do you hold space for the potential of the business and also relish in the life you want to live? I don't know about you, but I don't want to be the one rolling up my sleeves and getting my hands dirty, doing all the work until I'm 80 years old. But I'm okay. I'm content. I'm happy to be a CEO because I'm leading the strategy, the vision, and the team. And that's why when I define my success, I have to make sure I'm pouring my time, energy, and money into the things that make me happy. Because success is not just to be a good mom or to make $1 million. It's whatever lights your soul on fire, brings you closer to your God and the people who mean the most to you. And it's about achieving your mission, making a meaningful impact on others, and leaving a legacy. Maybe your mission is to help 1,000 inspiring and intentional women cross the next $1 million milestone in their business this year. Or maybe it's to uplift and inspire women to prioritize self-care and improve their overall quality of life, like our client Blair Hayes in Charlotte, North Carolina. Or maybe it's to help individuals feel refreshed and gain confidence to realize their unique value in the world, like our client Dr. Samantha Lucero-Daga in Pasadena, California. Or helping women look the age they feel, like our client Jessica Christie in Bloomfield, Michigan. Or maybe it's to help clients feel more confident and love their skin and in love with themselves, like our client Heidi Hermel in Mankato, Minnesota. What I do know is this: your definition of success requires you to show up in a way that most people will never understand. I heard this great analogy recently about success. I can't remember for the life of me who said it, but there was a reference to Ed Sheeran, you know, the red-headed British music superstar. Ed Sheeran was discovered playing as a street busker in England. And the story goes that Ed was a brilliant musician even as early as age 11. He didn't need to learn how to be a great musician. It wasn't skill that was holding him back. He was already a superstar, just no one knew about him. He needed a platform and to be given the right opportunities to expose himself. Imagine if he had been trying to make music in any other way because he thought that's what people wanted. He thought maybe that would get him on the big stage. We would never know the Ed Sheeran we know and love today, and the one who's filthy rich and famous, by the way. For me, it wasn't until I had this profound realization that I recognized how uniquely special I was, because I was busy looking up to everyone else ahead of me, calling it imposter syndrome when it was really just a mindset of lack that was stimulated by a case of comparisonitis. I felt like an imposter because at the end of the day, I was one. I was not a copycat. My brand was unique to what it stood for from day one, but I didn't know how to honor and express my own worldview. I had to realize that I had already made it because there was a bigger objective at play than I was allowing myself to acknowledge. There was a bigger mission. And everyone I hired helped me with the very best of intentions, by the way, but they helped me become more like them because that's what I told them I wanted. Instead of helping me reorient around my own mission. And I was trapped in a broken framework and I couldn't see it because I was too close to it. I couldn't see the label from inside the bottle. And women come to work with me now and say, wow, you're the first person who didn't think I was crazy for wanting to accomplish this. And I tell them that's because I understand what it's like being different, being part of Club Misunderstood. Welcome. This is a gift. But most of us, we were raised as little girls to make peace, to get along, to be friends with everyone, to follow the rules, and to walk in a single file line. And so as entrepreneurs, this phenomenon of thinking differently, of having a disruptive philosophy, it goes against all of our hard wiring, and it can feel very isolating. A client recently shared something with me during a very vulnerable moment. And she said, I often look at women on social media and I think, wow, look how many people admire her. And I'll bet if she said that comment to anyone else, especially in the state she was in, they'd probably comfort her and say, don't worry, Susie, so many people admire you too, maybe just not as many on social media. But that wasn't my response. I questioned the thought altogether. Why is it so important to be admired? Is that even the goal? Because when I look at the missions our clients are on, they can't afford the distraction of trying to be admired. They have to measure their success by their own value systems, or their mission will just be a dream or a slogan on their website, not a realized destination. Being admired feels good. It's validating. It's a hit of dopamine. But being a leader requires reworking of the hardwire. It requires an identity shift. And I have yet to meet a human being of true impact that doesn't know this truth intimately. I've never met a high growth individual who doesn't crave learning how to uncover their next level as a human being, be it wealth, health, spirituality, relationships. If you're not where you want to be in your life, the only person who can change that is you. What that means is you are the only one preventing you from achieving that next level. And believe me, I've experienced this distinction over the past 7 years as a business advisor. I can teach all of the strategy, share all of the wisdom, provide all of the resources. But if a business owner does not change the habits and mindset that got them to the place, that got them stuck where they are in the first place, it will not matter. And in my heart of hearts, I know that's why you're here listening to this podcast, The Fierce Factor. You know there's a next level waiting for you. I had a discovery call recently with someone who had vetted our company, talked to references, decided to take their time to connect with me. We got on the phone and they said, well, I already know how to build a $10 million business, but can you help me build a $15 million business? The next call I had 10 minutes later was with a prospective client asking for a discount on one of our programs. The irony is that while these two problems differ dramatically on paper, the solutions to them are identical. I'm pretty sure if someone knows how to make $10 million, they already know how to make 15. And I'm also sure that if someone is committed to investing in themselves to learn how to build $1 million business, a discount isn't going to change that. So what's holding these two back? Success comes from within. It requires us to get honest with ourselves about the beliefs of what success will mean for us. I personally have come to realize that making another $1 million will not make me happier than I am today. It will just move my line. And that can actually be a beautiful thing. I don't have to feel guilty. I don't have to question it. I don't have to diddle around in my imposter syndrome, but only because my success isn't defined by a number or by my personal accomplishments. It's centered around a mission that fulfills me, no doubt, but also one that will, without a question, make the world a better place. because we may not be curing cancer, but I know that if our company accomplishes their mission this year, there's a good chance we'll be helping the person who is. And that brings us to the point in this podcast where I ask myself and I ask you, Goddess, are you clear on what success means to you? Maybe you're subscribed to an old definition of success. Which past tense version of success needs a refresh? What goal do you have that no longer serves you now? That no longer serves your hiring plan, your patients, your intention, your mission? Perhaps you're not sure what your mission is. One of the takeaways of the Confidence to Scale Business Accelerator program is a mission declaration. And I call it a declaration because I believe a mission statement should be alive, in action, growing, not something that's stuffed in a drawer somewhere collecting dust. In fact, about 90% of the time when I ask an owner or even a rep or manager in a company what their mission is, they freeze and then they look around as if like Casper's going to whisper in their ear and remind them, what's your mission, leader? Can you declare your mission? Your mission is the vehicle that helps define your success as a business owner. It's the why that gets your team out of bed every day. It's the pathway to achieving the vision you set for the business. And it's ultimately the call out of your legacy. Having a clearly defined mission, vision, and set of values, it's not woo-woo. It's the blueprint for a successful business, period, end of story. Brand positioning, marketing, team building, culture curation, systems, partnerships, and visibility. It gives your clients confidence that you are the right one to help them achieve their goals. It enrolls strong team members into a philosophy that's bigger than both of you. It allows you to build an ecosystem of ambassadors who rally behind what you are set out to achieve. That brings tailwind, which creates traction. And leader, I'm that passionate about this that I have a special gift for you. Save the date for February 1st because I'm going to be hosting a 90-minute masterclass on developing your mission, vision, and values. And there will be no charge for admission for Fierce Factor podcast listeners who have left us a 5-star rating and written review. And I'll be sharing more details next week, but I wanted to let you know so that you can plan your evening to be with me on February 1st. I want to help you design a mission that helps you define success as an entrepreneur and create visionary leaders within your team. A team who will personally be ambassadors of your vision, an internal and external audience that will recognize the mission you're on. I want you to be able to build an army of people who will perpetuate the mission and can run the business without you there. And ultimately get to a place where you have created something bigger than you and you have a legacy set in motion. Okay, leader, stay tuned for more details on this masterclass. But in the meantime, I hope this episode has been helpful for you to really think intentionally about what your definition of success is and what's truly possible for you as a female entrepreneur. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll chat with you next week. Wait, before you go, hey, if you're vibing with this conversation and you want to join me on my mission to help 100 inspiring and intentional women cross the next $1 million milestone in their business this year, or leader, maybe you want to become one of them, head over to Facebook and join our free community, the Fierce Factor Society. Over there, we're taking this conversation to an elevated level. Get access to resource guides, podcast supplements, guideposts, and direct communication with me, my expert team, and of course, a society of fierce women making big moves and disrupting the status quo in aesthetic wellness. You can link directly through the show notes or head to Facebook and search the Fierce Factor Society. See you there, Goddess.